Well, we begin tonight with a live look outside over central and south Alabama as more showers and thunderstorms are getting ready to roll across our area. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Jordyn Elston. Most of us started the day off with rain, and by the looks of things, that'll be how we end it. However, some of these storms could be on the stronger side. So to keep you weather aware this Mother's Day weekend, let's get a live check on the weather with First Alert meteorologist Lee Southwick. No matter what you have planned for Mother's Day tomorrow, be sure that you have the WSFA First Alert weather app nearby. You can use it to track any storms that could be headed your way, as well as get the latest video, blogs from Lee and the rest of the First Alert weather team. Now to a story we told you first on our news app. Montgomery police are investigating a Friday night homicide that was followed shortly thereafter by a fatal three-car crash. MPD says the two incidents are connected. 40-year-old Daniel McCall died this morning after he was shot at some sort of gathering on Barn Street, just off Air Base Boulevard. Authorities say McCall was involved in an argument that led to shooting. The suspect was identified as Eric Boyer of Prattville. He reportedly fled the scene only to be killed in a three-car collision on the southern boulevard, just west of the intersection with Highway 331. Those in the other two vehicles sustained only minor injuries. And in Tallapoosa County, law enforcement says one person was killed in a fire at the old Camp Hill High School location. Camp Hill police say the fire happened just after noon yesterday and that the building was completely engulfed in flames. Crews later found a burn victim behind the building who had to be airlifted to the hospital. However, it was there where the person died from their injuries. Police have not identified that person or what caused the fire. New at 6, dozens of people spent their Saturday rallying around one Montgomery City Councilman after his daughter passed away. Reporter Samantha Day spent the morning with those men and women as they went from house to house mowing lawns in honor of Courtney Pruitt. There will be a celebration of live service for Courtney this coming up Wednesday at Fraser United Methodist Church. In Covington County today, people lined the streets of Andalusia to honor 2nd Lieutenant Walter Buster Stone. Stone died in World War II after his warplane crashed behind enemy lines in northern France. Stone's remains, including his military dog tag, were discovered in a dense forest about 2 years ago. He was only 24 years old. Covering Chambers County tonight, the Federal Aviation Administration announced that 5 local airports across Alabama will be receiving grants totaling more than $20.8 million for improvements, and 3 of them are in our viewing area. Lynette Municipal Airport will receive the largest grant of $8.1 million for an extension of its runway. Franklin Field Airport in Union Springs is getting $3.8 million, and Vaden Field Airport in Marion is receiving $2.2 million. Covering news from across the state, false alarm. There is no confirmed case of measles here in Alabama. The child in St. Clair County who is believed to have had the disease tested negative by the CDC. However, there are still open investigations, 84 to be exact. But Dr. Karen Landers with the State Health Department says that it is a good sign that no cases have been confirmed.
Just to remind people that if we keep a highly vaccinated population of patients in the state of Alabama, if our citizens continue to be vaccinated according to the appropriate age guidelines for measles, mumps, rubella, we will reduce the risk of having a measles case in our state.
We still don't know which disease that child in St. Clair County actually had, but when we learn that, we'll let you know. Could Alabama become the 34th state to legalize medical marijuana? Senate lawmakers passed the bill that would allow patients with certain conditions to use medical marijuana. It has another hurdle, but some are crossing their fingers that it becomes law. Chris Joseph spoke with a family who says if this bill passes, it would ease pain their 6-year-old daughter deals with every day.
There are few things in life more precious than the smile of a child. These little moments of joy haven't come often or easy in the young life of Charlotte Dalton.
We couldn't do things like go camping as a family or play on the playground on a warm day without having her seize.
Her mother, Gina, says Charlotte has been getting seizures since she was 8 months old.
Seizures are 24/7, 365. They're 2 o'clock in the morning in the middle of the night when you have to just get up like a bomb went off in your bedroom and take your child to the hospital, or worrying when you get up in the morning if she's still going to even be breathing or alive.
She says recently passed Alabama laws allowing the use of cannabis oil to treat epilepsy patients were game changers for Charlotte, but she's growing and the dosage will skyrocket.
Now she's taken a milliliter of that oil, and she gains 50, 75 more pounds. She might be taking 30 milliliters, and that's a lot of oil to take.
Medical marijuana could change that, addressing her seizures with a high-potency product while reducing the hassle of ingesting oil.
When you see a medication like medical cannabis that has no mortality rates, you cannot overdose on it. It's impossible to overdose on it. And it works. It's like, how could you not try that?
She hopes for an opportunity to keep a smile on that face.
The bill now goes to the House and, if it passes, would require Governor Ivey's signature. Happening now in downtown Montgomery, Taco Libre has taken over the Union Station train shed, bringing out local vendors, beer, entertainment, and of course, margaritas. Organizers say it's a great way to have a good time while supporting local businesses here in the capital city.
It's fun, community building, something fun that happened downtown Montgomery, bring people from all over the region to come in and hang out downtown on a Saturday afternoon and have a good time.
It's the 4th year that Taco Libre has been serving up a good time. Organizers say they expect about 2,500 people to come out this afternoon and into tonight. Also happening now, day 2 of Prattville's City Fest. If you stopped by either yesterday or today, you probably got a chance to see some WSFA employees. Each year, family-friendly activities and good food brings out thousands of people to historic downtown Prattville, showing residents and visitors what the community is all about.
We like for people to kind of see that it's in historic downtown Prattville, because a lot of people don't realize what we have down here in the downtown area. We have a lot of people that come in from out of state, even vendors, so it's kind of a tourism opportunity for our community as well.
If the weather holds off long enough, city leaders are estimating that anywhere from 12 to 15,000 people will attend City Fest this weekend. Up next at 6, we aren't the only ones dealing with rain. There is severe weather across the country. We'll show you the flooding several states are dealing with right now. One of the suspects in the deadly Colorado school shooting is a bully who joked about shootings and threatened other students for years, according to a former friend. Kevin Cole used to go to STEM school Highlands Ranch, where one student was killed and 8 others injured Tuesday in a shooting. Cole says one of the alleged shooters, Devon Erickson, had a pattern of bullying, violence, and jokes about mass shootings.
He would walk into the classroom, and from time to time he would say, just like we always thought it was a joke, but he would say, when the pencil hits the floor, I'm going to start shooting. And then he would drop pencils randomly throughout the class.
Erickson and the other suspect will appear in court next week to hear the charges against them. One of the students killed in the UNC Charlotte campus shooting last week was honored today during the school's commencement ceremonies. The school awarded Reed Parler's family with his Bachelor of Science degree in computer science. Reed had dreamed of becoming a game developer. Riley Howell was the other student who lost his life.
Terrifying as the tragedy has been, it has been heartwarming to witness this community of faculty, staff, and students respond together in unity.
The school also announcing donated funds to create $1 million in scholarships in Riley and Reed's names. Happening now, spring storms continue to bring dangerous conditions to much of the Midwest and South. Millions are at risk of flash flooding. Andy Rose reports. Here in central Alabama, we are waiting on the rain to arrive. It is in West Alabama headed our way. This is a live picture from Tuscaloosa. First Alert meteorologist Lee Southwick has an update on radar when we come back.
getting through this weekend?
You know, I see the rain coming, and all this means to me is that my mom's going to insist on dinner and flowers. So we're going to have some indoor things.
At least you know what to expect.
Yeah, no picnics in the park for tomorrow.
There you
so
go.
at least we're planning ahead.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's not your fault.
Thank you for realizing that.
All right, thank you so much. Coming up, we've got a score update on Game 2 of Auburn's home series against the 7th-ranked Georgia Bulldogs. And wait till you see how things ended in Game 1. We've got those highlights headed your way next in sports.
I'm glad we could get all those games in.
This is definitely the time for outdoor sports. I will say I am a big football fan, but this is my time of year right here.
That's because you played softball.
I love the outdoor sports.
Awesome.
I love watching, the softball games. Soccer, never really been my thing. I think I just don't have the stamina for it, though.
But you played softball.
That was good enough.
You were pretty good.
That was pretty good. All right, thanks so much, Maria. New here at 6, new developments in the case of a missing 4-year-old in Texas. The shocking details of who might be involved in her disappearance. The story of a man who claims 3 men carjacked him and abducted his toddler stepdaughter is beginning to fall apart. Authorities haven't been able to locate him in days, and the girl's mother no longer believes his version of events. Nick Valencia has details.
Darian Vence is the last known person to have been with missing 4-year-old Malia Davis, but police say since the beginning, his story has been full of holes.
I realize there's a lot of blanks in that story, but we're hoping the public can fill in the blanks.
Vence, Malia's stepfather, told police he was on the way to the airport with Malia and her 1-year-old brother last Friday to pick up their mom. En route, he says, he heard a noise coming from the car, so he got out to check if he had a flat tire. It's then he told police he was ambushed by 3 Hispanic men in a blue pickup truck.
One of them makes a comment saying that Malia looks very nice, looks very sweet. The other male hits Darian in the head. Darian loses consciousness.
Vence says he and the 2 children were carjacked and abducted. He didn't fully regain consciousness, he says, until 6 p.m. the next day. When he woke up on the side of a highway more than 40 miles from the airport, his 1-year-old son was with him, but 4-year-old Malia was nowhere to be found. It took him 5 hours to go to a hospital for his injuries and report Malia missing.
I just want to find Malia. I just want to find Malia.
Malia's mother, Brittany Bowens, initially defended Vence against those who doubted his story. In a long post on social media, she pushed back against his critics. But in the days that followed, and as the search for the missing girl intensified, there were more questions. On Thursday, the car Vence was driving the night Malia disappeared was spotted in a shopping center parking lot, just a few miles from where he said he regained consciousness. Malia's mother said the discovery added to her suspicions about Vence. His story, she says, just doesn't add up.
Do you still believe Darian? Do you still believe his story?
No, I don't believe his story. Only because I've been out here every single day doing what I have to do as a mother. I've been trying, and he hasn't been by my side not one time. He hasn't called me. I haven't heard from him since Monday. I don't know what's going on. And it's like, if you're innocent, why can't you save yourself? Why aren't you out here defending yourself? I defended you in good faith.
Police haven't been able to reach Vence since Monday.
You would think that if, your loved one is missing, that you'd be coming forward, and so he may have a legitimate reason. I haven't spoken with him.
CNN has been unable to reach Vence, and up until this point, he's not been considered a suspect by the Houston Police Department. For now, their investigation is focusing on any clues they might be able to glean from the car he was driving on the night of the disappearance. Nick Valencia, CNN, Atlanta.
A man and woman charged with beating their 5-year-old son to death pleaded not guilty in an Illinois court Friday. Andrew Friend and Joanne Cunningham's son, AJ Friend, was found buried in a shallow grave in April, days after police say Friend reporting him missing. Friend's attorney asked for a psychological evaluation and gag order, preventing police from releasing more details. Residents who've followed the case closely say that they have a right to closure.
Everybody, the whole community took him on as his own kid, and I think we have the right to know.
They are being held on a $5 million bond. Now to more news across America. New tariffs hit China Friday as a trade deal between China and the U.S. are starting to fade. The Trump administration raised tariffs on $200 billion worth of Chinese goods yesterday morning. The White House blames China for the breakdown in negotiations this week, insisting Beijing went back on promised economic reforms. Americans could now face price hikes on a long list of items, including food, fabric, luggage, and metals. A new Congress access President Donald Trump's New York State tax returns. The state Senate has already passed a similar bill called the Trust Act, and now it's in the hands of the state assembly. The legislation would allow the state to release any state tax returns requested by Congress. The president has refused to release his tax returns.
This is not about being audited. It is about a president who is refusing to comply with the requests from Congress.
New York Governor Andrew Cuomo has expressed his support for the legislation. Vice President Mike Pence says freedom of religion is under assault. During a commencement speech today at Liberty University, Pence talked about attacks on people of faith at synagogues in Pennsylvania and California, on mosques in New Zealand, and on Christian churches in Sri Lanka, and historically black churches in Louisiana.
The truth is, we live in a time when the freedom of religion is under assault. Yesterday, I was informed by the U.S. Commission on International Religious Freedom that today, Christians suffer more persecution around the world than any other religion. In fact, the United Kingdom released a report just last week that said persecution of Christians worldwide is near genocide levels.
More than 50,000 people attended today's ceremony, including more than 8,400 graduating students. Coming up, we've got a look at a unique business opening up in the capital city, as well as this week's Absolutely Alabama feature.
This is a story about a man who thinks about one thing all the time, because even when James Garner is building one of his custom grills or smokers, he's thinking about the next one, built to last, and Absolutely Alabama.
I know I'm really short because that camera looks really low now. Axe throwing is typically a sport you see in outdoor games, but you have a chance to try it yourself now. Civil axe throwing had its soft opening at its location on Dexter Avenue. They give you everything you need: the axe, the training, and the target. Officials say the location, which is just a few minutes walk from the entertainment district, is a perfect spot.
were able to get our 10 targets in. And I think the location is gonna do really well for us, being close to downtown, and this spike in tourism that Montgomery's seeing, like just the accessibility of it in this location, I think is really good.
Civil Axe Throwing will have its grand opening next week. Right now they're open Friday through Sunday starting at 3, but hope to expand more into the weekdays. Thomas Wolfe once wrote, "You can't go home again." But as far as we know, Thomas Wolfe never met James Garner, but we did. Mr. Garner did leave his home in Walker County for many years, but he always wanted to come back. And when he did, he brought a skill he had developed over the years to create something new out of something old. And his creations are absolutely Alabama. For more features from around the state, check out absolutelyalabama.com. And for inspiration close to home, download the Central Alabama Weekend app. Well, the weather is warmer, which means it's time to watch out for some unwanted creatures. We'll have how you can stay safe from snakes this summer. And First Alert meteorologist Lee Southwick has your new forecast coming up next. Now that it's starting to warm up outdoors, that means a lot of animals are becoming more active, including snakes. But that doesn't have to be a bad thing. Levi Harvey has more on what you need to know. If a snake shows up in your yard, you can contact Animal Control and they'll remove it for free. Cracking down on crime, how Congress is taking new steps to investigate the new world of digital currencies, coming up next. Digital currencies are gaining traction for those looking to exchange money online without a middleman, but some lawmakers and advocates want to ensure that cashless currency does not become a cover for crime. Our Washington correspondent Elena Alston digs into the new steps to get ahead of the bad actors. Tomorrow is Mother's Day, a big day to celebrate moms and all they do for us. But today is devoted to moms of fur babies. It is National Dog Moms Day. A Rover.com study found 3 out of 4 female dog owners call themselves dog moms. That's my girl Coco right there. And there's Maria with her dog Dex. 40% of women that call themselves dog moms also own clothing with the term dog mom on it. So be sure to take a selfie with your pup and post to social media with the hashtag Dog Moms Day. Now I know that you don't have a dog, but you have a cat that plays fetch, so that's pretty close. I think we should let her pass.
And if you just needed even more reason to think that she's a dog, I just had to take her to get surgery for eating a coin. This is a true story. Yeah, she's in the middle of recovering right now. She's doing fine, but even the vet was like, "I've never had a cat eat a coin. This seems like something a dog only does."
Right.
So maybe this is my day too. But either way, happy Dog Mom Day to you.
Thank you.
We're seeing a few showers on our radar, and we could see some severe weather tomorrow. So make sure to stay weather aware for Mother's Day.
All right, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will be back tonight at 10.